Welcome back to this week's installment on how I swing trade oil using the volume profile as part of my technical analysis, or a big part of the technical analysis. And we're going to be picking up from where we left off from last week, but with a slight difference is we're pretty much just going to say, you know what, okay, let me rephrase it like this. We are starting off from where we left off from last week, but the only difference this time being is that I've gotten rid of all of the work that we had on here. So the volume profile, low volume nodes, we've removed all of those, as well as some of the price labels that we had on here, just because it was getting a bit busy. So what we want to do is we want to lay on a new level of resistance, support levels, and all of these key things that we need to know about, and then we'll take it from there. So the first thing that I will be doing is, we've got a trend that is pushing up right now, but the overall direction of oil is heading downwards, right? It's in a downward trajectory. So your best possible entries are usually along this trend line right here, and that is you taking selling positions, right, like now. And the only time you can buy is at certain levels where price does a rejection, and then you can hop in with a buy, right? So what I want to do is lay out these levels for us, and we're just going to build up from there. Basically, we're just going to take it from there. We're just going to build it up from there. So the first thing that I always want to note down is the resistance level. So where are we? Just around about here somewhere. There we are. And it didn't even connect. So we've got a resistance up here, right? That actually is not even laying down how I even want it to go down. And we're just going to keep everything to a rounding number. Right, so rather than just, we just keep it to a rounded number. It's just nice and simple. What is roughly the zone? Some will mark out these areas here as the resistance, but this is actual, in fact, this is where it's all taking place. So we're gonna mark out that level right there. And what other levels do I need to bring to your attention? Okay. All right. I need to get it dead on. I don't think it's going to happen in the way that I want. Let's now add this. Also, a rounding number. Right? So we've got our resistance and we've got our support. Our support, I could make it 64 because we have a low volume node in this area right here. So I'm actually going to cover that location with a zone. So now the zone kind of makes a fair bit of sense right now, right? So we've got our support level, we've got our resistance level, right? And these are the important support and the resistance level, right? And an important resistant level, right? And this is where we're going to really begin to do our work from. So essentially, if we are looking for buys, right, we should have been looking at this from yesterday. No, not yesterday, on Monday. So Monday was our best opportunity to take a buy because we had price at the value, so we had price inside of a low volume node, which is this right here, right? But also dead on the low value area, which is this level right here, right? Which means the only direction price can kind of move in is all the way up to either here or right up here, and then we might have a little peak above, and then it's coming all the way back down again, at which point this trend line will be adjusted again, right? But that's what price is kind of doing. So if you wanted to hop in with a buy, Monday of this week was the best opportunity to do that, right? If you're jumping in now, obviously you're taking unnecessary risk, but however, I'm here to give you unbiased information based on how I see it, right? So if you're looking for buys right now, the ideal location was over here, right, at 64, okay? And I believe at 80, so that's around this level right here. So we have a low volume node right here again, right? And that is also on the value area high, which is this level right here, okay? This is where, if you want to be taking your sales, you should be looking at, right? So, because this is why the volume profile is so important, and this is why I like it so much, right? Because when you actually take the time to really apply this properly, because what you're basically seeing now in terms of the analysis style, hence why I'm getting rid of everything on the screen and coming back again, is that I believe I have leveled up my analysis skills. So I believe I've leveled up in that area, right? So I'm bringing that information to you, and that requires me to start again from scratch, right? So what you begin to notice is that we're only going to look at low volume node areas from areas that actually make sense, right? So we have our traditional view of a resistance level, which is this right here. So just going straight into it, right? And then we have our not so traditional view of a resistance level, where it's actually based on major consolidation levels and conflict zones. So this would be this area right here, right? Why? Because the entire battle is centered around this one line. We have a push, it breaks down, it comes in, it comes out, it swings above, it swings below, right? But it's hovering around this one zone right here. So this is in fact an absolute solid resistance level zone. Although this area will be getting marked out, activities will be taking place down here. And then you have the age-old question: why is it that price never went to the resistance zone target? Because you had it up here, which is where most of us we've been putting it up here, but when in fact it was down here, and it responded to this level. It just did not respond to these because these were just reaction zones, right? Maybe you understand what it is I'm saying. Maybe you just don't get it. But in time, like I said, time in the markets will teach you everything you need to know about the markets. Trust me on that. Trust me on that. It will educate you, right, about things that you're right about and things that you're wrong about, right? And it's all good because, in a nutshell, it makes you a better trader. So, what do we do now? What do we do now? Okay, so if I was going to start doing things like looking for buys in this market, right, I would be looking at taking the buys from this zone right here. So effectively I have missed the opportunity to jump in with buys, right? I've missed that opportunity. But however, when it comes to taking sales, we have the perfect opportunity. We have the perfect opportunity when it comes to taking sales. And that opportunity is this. We want to see price, so I'm going to draw another zone. And this one, we're just going to change the color a bit. I'm going to make it yellow. No. Going to make it yellow. Okay. Right, so we've got the low volume node at the top side. That we get it, and we know what we need to do when we get there, right? But however, in a sense of taking the sales, right, we want to be taking it from between this zone right here. This is the area where we are going to be looking for our sales, right? So these areas over here, I'm not going to mark out. I've been dropping links in each video in regards to TradingView, so if you don't have it, how you can go about getting it. And then in doing so, you can get the free version of the volume profile that you can use for yourself. So these levels, once you lay them on, everything will appear like just like how it has on my screen. Now, this information right here is what is most important to you guys. This is the information that you actually want to know, right? So between 74 and the high side will be the top side of the low volume node. We're just going to count this entire zone as one thing. This is where you're looking to take your sales from. So at its highest 80.61, at its lowest 74.69. 74.69 is the best approach. Reason being is you would watch it leave, right? Leave the zone. Or another one you could actually look at would be this right here. This is where it's leaving the low volume node. So that would be 79.53. So say price continues to go all the way up, right? You wait for it to really get into this zone before you come in with your pending sell orders, right? Once it's really in the zone, because the thing that we don't know is if it's going to go to this low volume node area, which is currently sitting between 79 and 80. If it does go to those zones, you can then move your trading stop all the way up here, right? And just keep it there. And then as soon as price begins to return back, you would have gotten oil at a discounted price as it begins its journey to the downside, in my opinion. So with that said and done, that's how I will play the oil game. So the opportunity for a buy, we've missed it, right? Because the opportunity for a buy, in all fairness, it is between 64, right, and I'll say possibly 66. So this zone right here is the zone. So let me just mark it out between this zone right here and okay, just trying to get in dead on 60. Let's see if we've got coordinates in here. Just add 0. And just add 0, 0. Okay, so this zone right here was our opportunity to jump in with buys, right? And that's gone. So now we've got to turn our attention to this side of the market for our sales, right? And this is the most important part of trading, where you've actually got to be patient. So this is the analysis. This is the best honest analysis, with the intention that if I was going to do this, this is how I would want to win it, right? So I'm hoping that that's come across. I'm hoping that you've seen what it is I've laid out. I'm hoping that you would have something to say about what I've laid out. in the comment section, besides the bots trying to get people to sign up to whatever random calls they want them to sign up to. And by the way, guys, I'm actively now enforcing looking through the, because I always look through the comments, right? But now I'm literally just getting them out of there. As soon as I recognize them as that, I'm getting them out of there ASAP. So feel free to actually drop normal comments asking normal questions, and if needs be, I will drop in whatever it is that I need to say about whatever you've put down, right? So with that said and done, if you find the content useful, make sure you hit the subscribe button, you turn on the notification, and you drop us a like, and I will see you all on the next one.